The Earth strikes back. Tsunamis, earthquakes, and the collapse of England. In the aftermath of the Western retaliation and the silent annihilation of the Eastern invasion forces, Alois Irlmaier's vision shifts. The war does not simply end. It triggers a reaction from creation itself. The Earth, as if awakened by the sins and blood of men, unleashes a sequence of catastrophes that strike with no human precedent. What Irlmaier saw in this phase was not metaphorical. It was a literal sequence of geological and oceanic disasters, provoked by specific military actions, and resulting in the permanent erasure of entire nations and cities. 1. A lone aircraft and the beginning of the final catastrophe. Irlmaier saw a single aircraft, launched from the east, flying alone and unnoticed over the Atlantic Ocean. He emphasized that it came from a region not typically involved in the fighting, suggesting this aircraft was part of a final effort by a rogue Eastern power, likely Russian. The aircraft drops a device into the sea, not a traditional bomb or missile. Irlmaier does not call it nuclear, but he says the effect is unlike anything seen before. Once this device enters the Atlantic waters, it causes an unnatural chain reaction. Irlmaier describes a column of water rising into the sky, higher than buildings, like a watery wall towering over the ocean. The sea is not merely agitated. It is lifted and then dropped with catastrophic force. 2. The tsunami and the fall of England. What follows is a monstrous tidal wave, several stories tall, which crashes into the Western European coastline. Southern England is hit directly. Irlmaier said clearly and repeatedly, the southern part of England disappears. Entire cities vanish beneath the sea. Coastal towns are flattened and pulled into the ocean. Rivers flood inland for miles. Harbors are obliterated. The landscape of southern Britain is permanently altered. He described specific scenes. In one city, nothing remains. It is completely swallowed by the sea. In another, only the church steeple remains visible above the waterline. A third city collapses into rubble, either from the water impact or an accompanying earthquake. This is not a partial flood. It is a complete obliteration. Millions die instantly. There is no warning, no alarms. The wave arrives in minutes and washes away all resistance. 3. Coastal destruction in Western Europe. The catastrophe is not limited to England. The wave fans out, striking the coastlines of France, especially the western and northern coasts, Belgium, the Netherlands, and northern Germany. Irlmaier says clearly, the water comes up as high as a house, and where it goes, it pulls everything away. He saw people drowning, cities breaking apart, and entire regions turning into mud, salt water, and silence. The destruction is not momentary. The infrastructure is lost. Survivors find themselves on islands of debris. The land becomes unrecognizable. 4. Earthquakes and volcanic activity. Alongside the sea's vengeance, the earth itself quakes. Irlmaier said, when the Golden City collapses, the end is near. This likely refers to Prague, which suffers a major earthquake. He also names 2 more cities that face utter ruin. He does not speculate. He only describes what he saw. One is completely leveled by the tremor. Another is swallowed, as if the ground opens and devours it. Volcanoes erupt, possibly in the Mediterranean. The sky darkens from ash. Irlmaier says the air becomes hot, the sun is no longer visible, and the daylight fades into twilight. He specifically described seeing rocks the size of a house rolling down mountains, destroying anything in their path. 5. The Vatican and the Pope in exile. During the natural cataclysm, Italy falls into chaos. Irlmaier said a violent revolution breaks out in Rome, and almost all priests are murdered. He saw 6 priests survive, hidden in disguise. Their blood stains the churches and crosses are broken. The Pope, whose identity Irlmaier never names, flees Rome by boat, dressed as a simple man. He travels secretly and alone, avoiding both enemies and his own followers who would betray him. He takes refuge in a distant location. Irlmaier did not say where, and remains there for a time. Only after the disasters have passed, when the meadows bloom again, does the Pope return to mourn the dead and rebuild. 6. Paris engulfed in revolution and fire. Irlmaier also saw France collapse from within. Specifically, Paris is destroyed, not by war or bombs, but by its own people. He says clearly, "The city of the Iron Tower burns by the hands of its own citizens." Riots engulf the streets. Civilians turn against police, soldiers, and each other. Fires are set deliberately, consuming neighborhoods and monuments. The Eiffel Tower is destroyed, either through fire, collapse, or deliberate demolition. The city is reduced to ruins and smoke. This is not a foreign invasion. The revolution is internal, caused by years of social unrest, immigration conflict, political corruption, and betrayal. 7. The moral and physical judgment of Europe. What Irlmaier saw was not a poetic metaphor for divine judgment. It was a sequence of literal events. A man-made device triggers the ocean's wrath. Southern England is erased. Western Europe's coasts collapse. Earthquakes and volcanoes devastate cities inland. France and Italy descend into revolution. The Pope flees the Vatican. Paris is engulfed in its own flames. The timing of these events follows the failure of the Eastern invasion and the Western chemical counterattack. They are not political consequences, but acts of nature, provoked by human sin and executed with impartial brutality. Irlmaier does not offer symbolic warnings. He offers advanced eyewitness descriptions of what will happen physically to Europe. When asked how long these events would take, he said simply, "I see everything happening fast. One event triggers the next. The destruction comes like dominoes. It does not stop until the earth itself is finished."